Hello, everybody. So I'm going to present how I pre-sold my first online course for 60K. And this is Satya Malik, as you probably know by now. And I'm presenting this with my friend Manny Vaya. So let's first just introduce ourselves. I'm Satya Malik. I'm a blogger at learnopensv.com, and I've been doing this since January of 2015. I'm also the founder of an AI consulting firm called Big Vision LLC. And I've been doing that since September 2015. And let me be very open about it that I am actually a nerd. I have a PhD in computer vision and artificial intelligence. And this is my friend, Mani Vaya. And we also are in a mastermind together. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Manny is the founder of 2000books.com, and he's been doing this since September 2015. He's a podcaster and a YouTuber, and like me, he's a computer engineer and a fellow nerd.
Yep, that's me, guys.
Hi. So before we begin, I want to say that you are in the right place. You are here because you're creating or pre-selling or launching your awesome new first course. Or maybe you have already launched or pre-sold a course before, and what you're looking for is how to take it to 10x levels. That's what we are here for. Now, the people who are going to stay till the end will get a bonus. So I request you to stay till the end. I will share all 13 emails I used in my launch. We will provide you a link. There would be no registration required. You'll simply click on the link and get all the emails. So please stay till the end. So what will we learn in this webinar? We'll learn how I built an engaged audience. People talk about how you built your email list. I think that's the wrong question to ask. What we are building is an engaged audience. Email lists are easy to build. An engaged audience is what converts, and that's difficult. And then I'll tell you why I decided to pre-sell my course. And I'm going to tell you all the elements of my sales page. I'm going to talk about pricing, and I'm going to talk about stories that convert. People talk about sales emails. That's just the wrong way to think about it. We, as humans, we are engaged by stories. We like stories. And these stories convert, not the emails. OK, so before we get started, I would like to tell you a little story. This is about Roger Bannister. So for 3,000 years, no human ran a mile in under 4 minutes. For 3,000 years, it was considered an impossible physical feat. And in 1954, Roger Bannister became the first person to achieve this feat. And it was considered incredible at that time. Even now, it's a very difficult feat. But the funny thing is that something which had not been achieved for 3,000 years was achieved by one man, and 2 months later, less than 2 months later, the record was broken. Another man was able to break that record. And in 1955, 3 other humans ran under 4-minute mile. Now, just the success of one person, just by looking at that one person, they were able to come out of this mental barrier. They were able to come out of this thing that, it holds you back. It's not the physical barrier. It was not a physical barrier, as Roger Bannister showed. And once they came out of that mental barrier, people were able to break that. And this is the main reason I decided to do this webinar. My goal is to convince you that a 50K plus launch is possible. And it could be your first course, and it is possible. Just by being on the webinar, you have increased your chances because it breaks that mental barrier. Just talking to me, you see this nerd talking on on this webinar, and you see that I have an accent and stuff like that. But even with this, with these things, I was able to get past 50K. And we will talk about the specifics, the techniques and everything in a bit. But if there is one thing I want you to take away from this webinar, is that it is possible for you to cross the 50K barrier. That's my goal. If I achieve that, I want you to take away. Even for one person, I think I have achieved everything I wanted from this webinar. So now I'm going to tell you how to build an engaged audience, but I want you to comment on that chat roll. Just take a guess how many email addresses I have. What is the size of my email list? Just a few guesses. Any guess?
So there's numbers rolling in: 7,500, 5K, 3,000, 10,000, 2,000, 6,000, 10,000.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that response.
So there's numbers rolling in: 7,500, 5K, 3,000, 10,000, 2,000, 6,000.
Okay. Cool. So we get an idea. I will say the number after 5 or 6 slides. Let me tell you what it takes to create a large email list or a large engaged audience. Now, the first thing is that you have to create extraordinary value. Now, there are other ways of creating an engaged audience, but this is the path I have taken. For me, this was the simplest path. I would spend 20 hours on a single post and create something extraordinary. And my goal was to stand tall above the competition, right? So my free content, I like to say, is better than people's paid content. So provide extraordinary value. The other thing I noticed was that people just don't come, even though I have a technical blog, people just don't come to the blog to learn OpenCV and computer vision, artificial intelligence. They come for authentic stories. In the process of learning, they want an entertaining story woven into the learning process. They don't want a lecture. They want stories. So you got to tell authentic stories. Now, you also need to find your voice. On my blog, I am an expert. I'm an expert in computer vision and AI. On this webinar, I'm actually a fellow traveler. I'm telling you that I'm not an expert because I'm not. There are a few things I have done, and I have built some level of expertise in it, but I'm a fellow traveler, and that's my voice on this webinar. So when you have a YouTube channel or a podcast or a blog, you need to find your voice. What is it you're telling the users? You cannot be an expert in one post and then say that, oh, I don't know anything in the second one. So find that consistent voice. Now, suppose when people come to your website, they will not subscribe if you just say, please subscribe for the newsletter. You have to give them a compelling gift. Now, you may have, say, a website which has exceptional content, and it talks about, let's say, vegan food, right? And you may have something that says, register for a newsletter. But instead, if you had a small gift, you say that if you register for the newsletter, we will give you 10 vegan recipes. Then the conversion goes up way high. So offer a compelling gift to the email subscribers. For our case, we had a bunch of AI resources, and we gave them access to all our code, which is, right now it is worth about 500 hours of my time. For other people, it may take even more, even longer. Guest posts work. Some of my friends have been posting on my blog, and they are getting some nice boost in their traffic. You can also build audience by answering questions in open forums. I still do it. And the way to do it is you give the full answer, provide the full value, and then say, you copied this content from this blog. And people will go to the blog, just to find out what else is there, right? So it drives traffic, and it also makes you an authority in the field. Master your SEO game. Now, SEO actually is not very difficult once you have incoming traffic. Build exceptional content, you already will start getting traffic, but then do very small things. You have to get your H2, H1 tags right, you have to get your alt image tag right, you have to get your title right, but there are like 10 things. If you do, you have mastered SEO. You will get 50% or 70% of your traffic from SEO, which is great. So spend enough time on SEO to understand what it takes to have a good search rank. 60-second pop-ups work, and sometimes the user who comes to your website, they could have experience your content for a good period, and then after 60 seconds, it's okay to show them a pop-up. And I have seen that these things convert at about 7.5%. So that's pretty good. Now, you can also think outside the box. There is a story I like to tell. I actually found a blog in MySpace, which was getting about 1,000 users a day. So I called this person. I emailed him and said, I just wanted to talk to him. And while talking, I realized that he was doing nothing with the blog, and I offered him $160, which is actually 10,000 rupees, which, in 10,000 rupees is a significant number in India. So I offered them that, and they gave me this blog. I used that blog to drive traffic to my blog as well. So 1,000 users a day for $160. So you got to think outside the box, various ways of getting traffic. You got to keep your list warm. You should send them one email a week, same time, same day. And you got to train them to click on links. So just don't send them a newsletter where they don't have to click. Send them an email where you ask them to click to get the content. That way, they are, they get in this mindset that when an email comes from this person, it's okay to click on the link. It's not, they get value every time. And so when the time is right, when you get the sales, when you are in sales mode, they will click on your link just to see what you have put out there. You have been giving out engaging, compelling content up to that point, so it's great. They will click just to find out what you have what you have to say. You have to be very consistent. So I try to publish every week. I'm not always successful, but that is something I'm working on myself, because an online business is a war of attrition. Most people give up. The progress is so slow in the beginning. I used to get 50 users a day for, I think, 4 or 5 months, 6 months maybe. And it's crushing, because with that kind of traffic, you just feel that nobody's listening, but you got to keep at it. And I like to say that the last woman standing will win. And I say this because I know my audience of this webinar. So the next thing is, once you have created the content, you got to promote it. So I used to promote, I have a list. I actually have a checklist of social media sites where I go and post. You have to respect the community norms. And the funny thing is that the audience may be very different than what you think. I used to post in communities of artificial intelligence experts, and I used to get 20, 30 likes. But then I figured out there is a whole bigger community of people who are not experts. They are the ones who want my content most. And when I post there, I get 300 likes. Right? The content has to be good, and you can get a lot of new engaged users, which you did not actually in the beginning, you did not think that they were your audience at all. So keep your mind open and look for these communities who could be your target audience. Never, never, never compromise on trust. So this is you fail once here, it's the reputation is damaged. So never do that. Okay, so here we go. I have a list of 20,000 subscribers, which I have built over 2 years. Now, you may be thinking that, oh my God, this is a 60K launch with 20,000 users. That's understandable. But I want you to think in a slightly different way. I want you to think about this as a $3 per subscriber single launch. So if you have an email list of 2,000, you can easily have a launch of 6,000 to 6 to 8,000, no problem, right? So do not think about a 60K launch. It's a big target, that's fine. But you can think about how do you want to convert your audience at, say, $3 per subscriber, and then build it up from there, right? The other thing I want to tell you is that it may look like, oh, this is awesome, but this is actually really stupid of me to wait so long to do a launch, right? Because if I had launched a course when I had 5K users, I could have made 10K or 15K at that time. And that could have gone this little business rolling. But I waited too long. And I'll tell you why I waited too long. There were some mental blocks I had to struggle with. So think about your users, how you can launch today. Today is, start planning today. And in a few months is the right time if you have not already launched. Do it now. Don't wait too long. Okay, so now comes the pre-sale. So here I'm going to talk about how I, what my emails looked like, what my sales page looked like, what the pricing looked like. Now, first of all, let me confess that I was completely overwhelmed and confused when I started this process. I wanted to build the best artificial intelligence course on the internet. I wanted to make it very professional. I wanted to hire people. I wanted to make it something big, 8 months, 10 months course. And when I started adding up the costs, they were just overwhelming. I could not take that kind of cost. And the second thing was marketing, because I did not know anything about marketing. I started reading up, and I found out that you could email people, you could have webinars, you could do Kickstarter campaigns, advertising, social media, and I just did not know how to do most of these things, and it was overwhelming. I mean, where do I go? So I joined a mastermind with Manny, and that I think has helped me significantly to launch this course. I would have just be overwhelmed all the time, but having somebody as a sounding board really helps. So I joined the mastermind in 2017, and we decided to keep it simple and stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, the KISS formula. And after a month, we used to discuss this every week or so. And this was the before column. This is what I was thinking before. And after these discussions, they were not long discussions. They were 1 hour discussions every week or so. And after that, what I got was, instead of a 10-month course, I decided to do a 3-month course. That's much more manageable. You can plan. Instead of using Kickstarter, email, ads, webinar, affiliates, blah, 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 I just decided to focus on one channel. So that's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your value will come from just 20% of effort. The third one is that I wanted to build the whole thing first, create something awesome, and then launch it. But I turned it around, and Manny helped me come to this position. I decided to sell it first and then build later. Now think about it. We have $60,000 to spend on this course now. Even if I spend the whole thing, I can make the money on my second launch, third launch, fourth launch. So it gives a lot of safety, and it also tells me the audience. For example, suppose I had tried to pre-sell it, and I just made $500. Then it would have told me that I need to change my offering. There is something different I need to do. So selling first gives you so much data and money. Both of them are very useful for launching a course. And I was also thinking that my MVP will be the product. The minimum viable product will be the product, which is funny. Now my minimum viable product is just a sales page. It took me about a month or 45 days to put this all thing together. If I had actually worked on the course, it would have taken me 6 months or 7 months to just start the course. So here we are, 13 emails and 1 sales page converted to $63,712.53. That's what focus and narrowing down the scope does to you. So it was an excellent outcome for me. Now let's look at my sales page. And before we go into my sales page, I wanted to put some elements that are very, very essential in any sales page. First of all, you need to build that trust. The trust could have been built beforehand when you actually, when you were converting using your emails, or it could be built on the sales page. The language you use, the way your video is shown, all those things should create a sense of trust, right? You need to have a very consistent message. You need to have one message that people, if people get that message, you're done, right? That's the one message that you want on your sales page. Then you need to use, if possible, videos. Videos are such a powerful thing. It actually shows the person, it builds trust. Showing just a picture of a person versus a video of a person talking, no matter how imperfect they are, it makes a huge difference. So, and also, in a video, you can do animations and stuff like that, which people are more willing to. People don't want to read long sales pages until the time they are already convinced that they want to buy. Then they will read to verify all the information. So use beautiful imagery. And then the second thing is create a sense of urgency. There are only 2 things, if you think about it, there are 2 important things that make a sale happen. The first is trust. People need to trust you. And the second thing is urgency. People need to feel that this thing will go away if they don't do it now. And then there are the things like social proof and the correct level of pricing, which tie the whole sales page together. I've seen The Big Lebowski. Okay. So the message on my sales page, the message is very clear. The message is AI jobs pay very well. This course will help you get into AI. There are very few prerequisites for this course. And if you're a programmer or a student or an entrepreneur, this course is for you. That's it. AI jobs pay very well, and you can join the AI revolution. Urgency. So for urgency, I have this timer. I had this timer on the sales page and at other places also. And the message was that the course closes, the pre-sale closes in 7 days. And I'm not sure if I'll open it again. And it could not be opened as a standalone course. And the final thing is that if I do open it as a standalone course, the price will be 25% higher. And when you say something like this publicly, you have to make the price 25% higher. So that is something you have to decide whether you can do that. If you don't do it, you lose all credibility. If you let somebody enroll after 7 days, you lose all credibility. So when you create the sense of urgency, you have to stick to the rules that you have created. I lost something like $3,000 in sales because I did not let people to register after the deadline. And that's the cost of your reputation. So the sales video should tell a very compelling story. And you should bring out the raw emotions, right? Even if the editing is not that good, it doesn't look very professional, it does not matter. You have to bring out the raw emotions. Now, I use this line where I say, I have put in my heart, my soul, and a lot of time and resources. Now, I don't use this kind of line. I don't, in my normal conversation, it's very difficult for me to, I'm a nerd. I don't say things like this, that I put my heart and soul and things like that. But when you're in sales mode, that's what people want to listen. So I'm very passionate about the things I do. I just don't say it as passionately. So I had to think about these lines and say it. And I also experimented with this line when I said, I have to put my heart I could have said, I have to put my heart, soul, and a lot of time and resources. Instead, it was slightly better when I said, I have put my heart, my soul, and a lot of time and resources. I just don't know why, but it just has a right ring. So those kinds of things you have to experiment with and see what is more compelling. So you got to use some animation and music to make it, kind of entertaining, and be very authentic while creating the sales video. I actually had created a script, which took me 3-4 hours to write that script. And then when I recorded it, it didn't sound authentic. So I threw away the script. I had drilled down the message I wanted to give in my head, but the words, I just let them roll without looking at the script. So I winged it. And that's a good way to be authentic. It's not as polished, but like I said, raw emotions sell more than a polished content. Social proof, I was named among the top 30 AI influencers to follow on Twitter, and that it just sounds weird talking about yourself, but you can put it on the video as text. Now, there is this debate about how much information should you give and how long should be your sales page. I'm of the opinion that the sales page should be very long. People want to read, once they are kind of decided that they want to look at this product, they want to know everything about the product. The question is, who will read such a long sales page? And the answer is, the reader who will buy your product will read it. Everybody else doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think, how long the sales page is. It is not for them. The readers who will buy your product will take the time to read the sales page. Pricing. This is fascinating. I've been reading a lot of books on psychology of pricing just to figure out how pricing works. Now, if you, the first thing I noticed was that I had to reciprocate. So I had sent out an email to people, and there were people who filled out a survey for me. For those users, I gave them a 10% discount. I sent them an email one day before the course opened for enrollment, and I told them, look, go ahead and use this 10% discount coupon. And it was just a way of saying thank you. I was really, really thankful. These are the people who helped me with the survey and build the course. I had to do something extra for them. The second thing is urgency. I had a 10% discount on day one. And this was in addition to the 10% discount that people received, the people who had filled out my survey. And this was only for one day. And this was to create urgency. I wanted everybody to get on board on that day. And this is a powerful urgency thing. You have to build urgency into your offer. Otherwise, people will forget. They will not care. I had a 3-tier pricing. Now, look at this price. It says $999 for an online course for programmers. That's a very high price. People don't pay that much. Usually, you can get a course for $10, and I'm not just kidding. It is true. On Udemy, you will get programming courses for $10. So my premium tier was $999, and I actually did not expect anybody to buy this this tier. The reason I put it there is that it serves as an anchor. It makes people believe that the offer that is the next best is actually very cheap, right? If you have 3 offers, $20, $30, and $50, the $50 will always look very expensive, but the $30 offer would look kind of right. It's in the middle. Now, the second offer I had was $200 and $199. It was for users who were on the budget. They wanted to get, and you just cannot extract more value or more money from them. They want to get the course, and I want them to have the course, but they do not have an extra $50, which was the plus course. Now, when you set these things in this way, the $999 anchor price makes the plus price look cheap. And you can see this in the numbers. You would think that this is, the cheapest one should go, it should be the most number of downloads. But in my case, there were 136 people who chose the cheapest option, and 156, 20 more than the cheapest option, which chose the 249 price tier. That's what the premium pricing anchor does. It skews towards higher values. So this is a very well-known pricing strategy, and you should definitely offer 3 tiers. Now let's come to my email campaign, which was a set of 13 emails, and we'll just go through it. What was the purpose of each email? Now, again, like in a sales page, the email campaign also needs to have a few very important elements. The most important, obviously, is trust. The second important is urgency. In the emails, you're viewing stories, you're telling stories, you're providing social proof that other people are also buying. You're building anticipation, and there is some sort of reciprocity that I told you about. If people help you out, you got to give them something extra. If people fill out your survey, they have to receive something of value, right? And I did not even advertise this. I did not say that people who fill out the survey will receive a 10% discount. So this element of surprise was very interesting. They really liked this additional surprise. They did not fill out the survey to receive anything. They just did it, and they were pleasantly surprised when I offered the 10% discount. Now, every campaign needs to have a theme. And that's just my opinion. I have come up with this idea that you cannot just say random things. Have a theme for your campaign. And in my campaign, the theme was invest in yourself. The stories I told was how I invested in myself, how other people are investing in themselves, and how investing in yourself will get you into the AI game where you can make more money in the process. So it's a story of growth. And that's a very powerful story. Invest in yourself. You could have a different theme, but whatever it is, you have to be consistent in your emails. You carry the story forward. It works beautifully. Now, the first email that I sent out was a survey, and the survey was to figure out what people wanted. I had 5 questions, just 5 questions, and 1 optional question. So I wanted to find out, what does my audience look like? From Google Analytics and other places, you kind of know what your audience is like, but you can get very granular information about what your audience looks like and which stage of their lives they are in. Then I wanted to figure out what would they like to learn in the course, what format they wanted the course in, videos or text, etc. And there are some surprising things that come out when you get honest feedback from people. And there were 2 other technical questions that I had for designing the course. Now, this is what the survey revealed. The survey revealed that 30% of my users were programmers, 24% were students, and 20% were entrepreneurs, which means that in my all follow-up messaging, I targeted these 3 groups. These are the people who, I'm talking their language now. I'm talking the language of programmers, of students and entrepreneurs, right? Not so much about hobbyists, right? So I'm talking about making money, how they can change their careers, etc. So this is powerful information. This literally told me how to design my email campaign, the survey email. This now the second question was shocking. I was completely shocked. One of the there were 2 questions I asked, whether you would like videos plus long text, which is my style on my blog, or would you like only videos? And everybody told me that people like videos, and you have to do a course which is exclusively videos. And I found out that's not the case. Only 12% or 13% of the people said that they want videos only. People wanted the format that I have been giving them in already. So this is powerful because I would have creating video content is much more expensive, much more time consuming. And now I know I do not have to do that. So that's very powerful. Then I told, in email 2, I told a personal story of struggle. So this is a story very close to my heart. I was very early in my consulting game. In fact, this was my second client. And they asked me to give a demo for something. I had zero practical experience in that particular thing. I had theoretical experience. I knew the theory, but I had zero practical experience. And in one day, as I sat down from morning to night, I took help from my friend. I read everything. And by the end of about 24 hours, nonstop working, I was able to create a demo for them. And this project landed, it made me $58,972.55. And this was completely belief-driven. I completely believed that in one day I will be able to learn all this stuff. And I put all my effort into it. And finally, I actually did not get the answer. And I ran to a friend. I said, you got to help me. Meet me for dinner. I need your help. So he showed up for dinner. And all he said is, because I had done my work so thoroughly, all he had to do was point out one mistake. He literally changed one thing, which took him 2 minutes to do. He changed one thing in my program, and magically it started working. So this was a personal story of struggle. It resonated with people because they also struggle with this new thing, to learn something quickly. And when they knew that I actually ran to a friend, they actually enjoyed it. I thought that my credibility will be lost. I'm an expert in this field. My credibility will be lost. But it had the opposite effect. They now believe that starting is difficult, and even experts they run to their friends for help. So that was a very powerful story. And I sent this 23 days before the close of pre-sale. Now, not only that, I told stories about users of my blog who have built cool applications. And the first one was my personal story. Now, this one was, even others are doing it. It's not you alone. It's not me alone. There are other people who have been able to build very cool applications, so you can do it as well. The third email was an email to my survey list. The people who had filled out my survey. And you can actually read through this. And this was heartfelt. It was there was no marketing. It didn't come from a marketing angle. I actually believe everything that I wrote in this email. So what I said was, there are two kinds of people who help you be successful. There are mentors. These are individuals who guide you. And there are friends who root for you. They want you to be successful. They believe in you, right? And you are like a friend to me who I have never met, because you filled out my survey. You didn't have to do that. You provided value to me. So in return, I'm helping you with this 10% discount. Thank you so much, right? And this was very heartfelt. And when you write these emails, it comes through. What do you guys think? Doesn't it? Okay. So okay, so now the pre-sale email, when I sent it to the survey list, there were only 620 users on that list, and it produced $4,211 in sales. Now think about it. We were talking about $3 per user. If you look at this, this is more like it's more like $80 per user. So that's the power of an engaged audience. Even within your audience, there may be people who are really engaged, who are touched by your story, who really want you to succeed, and they will buy. And this was on day 0. This was before the course went live, or the launch was public. The second, on the same day, I sent an email building anticipation. I said that the pre-sale is going to happen tomorrow. There's a 10% discount on day one, and I listed out the curriculum, right? So people have time to think about the course and whether they want to take it or not. And it's also building the anticipation. They had not seen the sales page, and they were just looking at what I had to offer. This is when the course opened for enrollment. There are a few things that I wanted to emphasize. I wanted to emphasize the benefit. So I reiterated that AI jobs pay very well. Join the revolution. It's a huge tsunami. It's a technological tsunami. So you got to join it. I built urgency into the offer because 10% discount lasted only one day. And I had a timer in the email that said that, okay, this time is ticking away. I also addressed some objections. Some people were thinking, artificial intelligence is not for me because I'm not good at math. People were saying, I don't have the time. So those kinds of things I had to address in that email. And then towards the end of the day, just 1 hour before the enrollment closed, I sent out another email saying, time is ticking away. You have to invest in yourself. The question was, at that time, because it was 10% discount, the price was $179, down from $199. And my offer to them was, do you think that by investing $179 today, you will be able to make $1,000 from this knowledge in 3 years? If you do not think that, then you should not take this course. But if you think that, you should definitely, the course is definitely worth your time. And I also emphasize that paying for a course forces you to be disciplined. Otherwise, I threw in a line which says, how did you do with your last free online course, right? So that was a challenge. Most people do not finish their free online courses. And then again, I addressed this objection that the course is expensive by saying that it is expensive only if you think it as an expense, not as an investment. If you think about it as an investment, then it pays off. It pays for itself and more. After the first day was over, it was time to send out an email suggesting a bonus. It was also, an email where you show social proof. So this is the email I sent out. I said that there were 102 course sales after the first day, and we made $36,277 from a single day. So this is providing social proof that, a lot of people are actually taking this course, because a lot of people, they are kind of fearful. They don't want to do, they don't want to commit before other people have committed. So you need to provide the social proof. And I also directly addressed, like 50% of my audience is from countries like India, China, Brazil. And those, for them, it is an expensive course. So I addressed that concern directly, that people from India, China, and Brazil are buying this course. In fact, 30 to 40% of my revenue was from these countries. And now you think, people from my country are investing in themselves. I should do it too. I'll be left behind. And I know, from these countries, people are very education oriented. They want to invest in their education. So it was not difficult to sell to that crowd once you have some people joining. And then I suggested that this campaign has been a huge success already. So I have the time and resources to invest more into the course. And so here is some bonus material I'm going to add to the course. So that was the email. 3 days before the pre-sale ended, I sent them an email. It sounded like a technical email, but the goal was to convince them that there are no good slow decisions. So it was about decision making, that indecisiveness kills your chances of success. And I gave them two personal stories. There was a time when I did not invest in Facebook stock, even when I knew that Facebook ads were doing very well. So my company was creating these apps, and they used Facebook ads to sell the apps, and it was doing very well. So I had this kind of inside knowledge that Facebook stock is going to just go, very high. And I logged into my trading account just to find that I did not have money in that account. All I had to do was transfer money from my other account to my trading account, and I just didn't do it. It was just funny. The stock went up 10%, 20%, and I kept telling friends, go buy Facebook stock. It's still not where it should be. And I was not doing it myself. It's just, it's very difficult to explain why we get into this kind of paralysis. All I had to do was transfer money to this trading account. So that was this indecision I got into. But finally, nothing happened. I saw the stock rise to 7x. And I said to people, I told you should have bought the stock while not doing it myself. But when the next opportunity came, so NVIDIA is a company that makes graphics GPUs for games, but GPUs are also big in artificial intelligence, and that information is not very widely known. So I knew that if you invest in NVIDIA, it is going to take off, because NVIDIA GPUs are being used in artificial intelligence. And I invested heavily in it. I invested a month's salary in NVIDIA stock, and I saw it rise 3x. And that's the power of decision making, right? You have to be decisive. Now, the 10th email I sent, this was sent only to users who had already taken enrolled in the course. The main problem I had with this was it was late execution. I just sent it one day before the close of pre-sale, and I offered them, I said that taking a course with a friend is obviously more fun. You will get a 10%, your friend will get a 10% discount, and I will refund you $25. So the offer was pretty good, and it makes sense, but I did not make much money from that because it was executed pretty late in the game. So I just made $150 from that. Then we are down to the wires now. I send an email that says the enrollment closes today. So I'm building the urgency again, that it closes at midnight. If you are not sure, I'm not sure that I'm going to open it again, buy it now, lock in the price. You can get a refund. Don't worry about anything, just lock in the price now, because the price is going to go up. So that's the kind of urgency I was building up. And then I showed social proof that 240 people had already registered for the course. And then there were some personal stories where it says, I wanted to convey this message that it should say skill, not still. So every new skill you acquire doubles your chances of success. So suppose you are an engineer and you acquire marketing skills, that doubles your chances. You're an engineer, you acquire artificial intelligence skills, it doubles your chances of success. So, and then I put an FAQ in there also. And the people who are going to stay till the end of this webinar will get all these emails, the exact emails that I sent. The 12th email was to people who had enrolled in the course, not enrolled in the course, they had enrolled to the school or signed up for the school, but not enrolled in the course. So these are the people who we almost got, but not quite. So something changed. They had a last minute change of mind, because they had signed up for the school and they were going to enroll, right? So how do we get to these users? So I sent them an email that I noticed you were interested in the course, but you did not buy. Can I answer any questions you have, right? Enrollment closes in a few hours. So that made us an extra $1,195, which is pretty awesome. I mean, just one email. That's the price of one email. I would take it any day. The final reminder, it was just a very simple email. It said, there are only 5 hours left. We built urgency, that this is the final reminder. Don't wait till the last moment. Credit card and other payment systems don't work sometimes. And then finally, there was this thank you that please, I sent you so many emails. I want to thank you for your support that you did not unsubscribe, right? Now, this is what the sales looks like over time. So it started with, April 4th. On the first day, it was actually, I call it day 0 because it was not really open. It was sent to the email list. And then we have the spike on day 1, huge spike on day 1. And this is expected because most of the people had already made up their mind and they were, they were ready to buy. So we got this huge spike on day 1. And day 1 is actually split between April 5th and 6th. That's why, you see it shows 17,000, but it's actually over that time period of about 36 hours, we sold something like $35,000 worth of products. And then you will notice that there is a little bump in the end, the last minute people who want to join. And sales actually fall substantially in the middle where there is no sense of urgency. There is no reason for people to buy. They can wait until the last moment. And that's what people do. OK, the tools that I used, Aweber for emails, Lead Pages for creating pages and sales page, etc. Actually, then WordPress plus Genesis. I use Disqus, Bluehost for hosting my WordPress. This is for my website. For my videos, I use YouTube, and for the first time, I'm using YouTube Live and a chat role. For the platform, obviously, I use Teachable. They are an awesome platform. I really like the platform. There are a few features I'm going to recommend them at some point. But this is an awesome platform. I liked a lot of things about Teachable. They have this integrated email system also. So it's an awesome platform. I also took the Profitable Teacher course, which was offered to me along with the webinar sale. I was very impressed how they sold on the webinar. So that I took detailed notes on how they were selling on the webinar. So it's and I'm not being paid or anything by Teachable. It's just a good platform, and that's why I'm recommending that it's a good one. Okay. Now let's get back to the Roger Bannister story. I told you a beautiful story. The problem is that it's an incomplete story. It's an incomplete story because I did not tell you what was so special about those other 4 people who broke the 4-minute mile. The thing is that they did not just see some man in Britain who actually broke the 4-minute mile. It was not that some belief just came into them by looking at this some unknown man breaking the 4-minute mile. They broke the 4-minute mile because they knew Roger Bannister personally. So the person who actually broke the record within 2 months was somebody who had competed with Roger Bannister several times, right? He was not an unknown. He had been practicing. They have been meeting each other in all these events. So they knew Roger Bannister personally, right? And the mind goes like, oh, if he can do it, so can I, right? There is this transference of belief. If Roger can do it, I can do it as well. So it's that thing, the personal touch that makes it very interesting. The people start believing. When my roommate started a company, that was the day I knew that I'll be an entrepreneur as well. Because if he could start a company, so can I. So I'm just reiterating here that to really believe, to really feel something in your bone, you need to know, you need to know the person personally and latch on to their success, right? Don't be jealous of their success. Latch on to their success, and it would be a great motivating force when you see somebody like you actually make it big. So for me personally, in my mastermind, I knew that Manny had launched a simple course, And that was a lot of motivation for me, right? I knew that you could actually do a pre-sale. People will come and buy if you have the right audience. So just because Manny had done it, I knew I could do it as well. Now, here's what is so powerful about a mastermind. Now, you get new ideas when you get unblocked. You can get unblocked by just talking to somebody, right? You get unbiased feedback from people. When you are developing a course, it is very difficult for you to look at the course or your idea in an unbiased way. You are too close to the idea, so you want eyes on what you're doing, and that's what a mastermind provides. They also give you some very specific direction when you're lost, and they tell you that, oh, this is common. When I said, oh, I'm so confused, it's so overwhelming, Manny said, yeah, I was too. It's just that happens to everybody. And they also keep you accountable. So every week, Manny would ask me, so what is your launch date, right? When is the pre-sale going on? And it was like somebody is pushing me. I just felt like, Manny is my mother or something, somebody who's pushing me to achieve greatness. So that's very powerful indeed. So your homework for today, go find someone who has done what you're trying to do. And that's all, actually. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at spmalik@bigvisionllc.com, or you can just reply to my emails. That's about it. Oh yeah, the bonus emails, Manny is going to share a link. And now we can start the Q&A session. We are very happy to answer any questions you have.
All right, guys, just post the questions in the chat and we'll get started on it. Deuce, can you join the mastermind? Well, this is our personal mastermind, but send an email to Satya and send an email to Big Vision LLC, and let's see.
Sure, yep.
All right. Peggy says, thanks for the information. I knew most of this, but your presentation has made it much more understandable. I completely agree.
Thank you so much.
Awesome webinar, and thanks for sharing. Mama, thank you, man. Please go ahead and ask all the questions you guys want. We're going to be here till all your questions are asked. Manny, just tell us a little bit about you. What do you mean? Oh, me, myself. Okay. So I'm the founder of 2000books.com. I publish summaries of business books, personal development books for entrepreneurs. You can find it. I have a podcast and a YouTube channel as well. So that's me. All right. Let's look at the other questions. What is your thought on recording some sample content and using it as a marketing component of your pre-sale of the full course? Yeah, totally. You should do that. I have done that in the past with my courses. Showing recordings, showing samples is a great way to get the ball rolling, Cody.
I completely agree with that as well. In fact, in my sales video, because I don't have any recordings, I showed results of applying artificial intelligence. So those are hooks. Those are great things. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcy asks, how long did it take you to get to your list of 20,000?
2 years.
Okay. What percentage of your list bought?
1.5%.
Okay. How long did it take you to create the course? Well, the course hasn't even been created yet. That's the beauty of all of this.
Yeah, the course
hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, so we are working on it. After we were able to raise $63,000, I hired 2 people who are helping me do the course. We hired 2 more interns, so it's a team of 5. Now I can go full force on this one, and in 2.5 months, we'll have the course ready.
All right, Ben asks, what is your target launch date for the course?
June 19th.
All right, so it was like at least almost more than 2 months out.
Yeah.
And Rob is saying, any pushback from the fact that it was a pre-sale, that people not just want access once they're paid? Okay, so let me take this one, because this is something I did, and then I did it multiple times. What happens is when you do a pre-sale, you offer a discount. You say, hey, because it's a pre-sale, you're going to get a discount. So you don't have to worry about people saying, okay, I want it right now. You actually make it pretty clear. I'm giving it to you for pre-sale. I'm giving you 20% off, 30% off, whatever it is. And hence, people will buy.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Rob, that takes care of
it.
Yeah. Jay, how long between the pre-sale and actual launch?
2.5 months.
Yeah. Jay, again, I'm scared about selling a course and then having to create the content after. Suppose I lose motivation. You won't, because once you've collected the money, you have to do your job.
Yeah, but I would also say, suppose the pre-sale doesn't go well, right? You can always, then maybe you're not motivated, right? Suppose I had raised only $500, then maybe I would not be motivated because it takes me $40,000 to create this course. In that case, I would rethink, I would return the money to the users, and I would rethink my strategy. That this did not go well. I have to rethink what I'm offering, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Dos Das asks, following a similar method to yours, how long do you think it would take to generate 2,500 emails starting from zero? I guess that's the question, Satya. How long did it take you to generate 2,500 emails?
So it took me, so I did not, initially I was not doing it right because I did not have the right offer. I did not have the bonus, not the bonus, I did not have the resource guide that I give out now. I did not have enough code written. So it took me about, I think 6-7 months to generate. 8 months, actually.
Okay.
8 months.
Yeah. Satya, you can change the slide to the previous one. So if people want to email you with further questions, they should get to that email address there. And by the way, I have put the email out to, I put the link out to where you can download all the emails. So it's in the chat. I'll do it again right now. Okay, there is more questions here. What about the 30-day refund with the pre-sale? Okay, here's the beauty of it. I actually offered 120-day refund period so that people can take the course, and then decide if they want to keep it or not. And that it covers the whole spectrum. So I wouldn't worry too much about the refund policy. My policy is always like, just go ahead and refund when someone doesn't like it, even if it's after 30 days. It never disappoints anyone. And Satya, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same way. And my refund is actually 30 days after the launch of the course. So they can get the refund until July 19th. And frankly, if they are a couple of days late or something, I don't mind. And I feel that people don't cheat other people. I mean, most of the people will not cheat you. If they are getting value, they are not going to cheat you. And you have to trust this. This is a very human thing. They will cheat organizations. If it's a big company or if it is the government, they may be willing to cheat. But when it is a person on the other end, that is very unlikely to happen, or at least that's my belief.
Yeah. No, people generally want to pay back when they get value. So, and there are always going to be some 10-15% of people who don't really care. Even after they get all the value, they don't want to pay back in any way, which is cool. But most people will always reciprocate. So I would never worry about that. I mean, I think the more you give, the more you'll get in the long term. So Giorgio asks, can you quickly explain a bit more how the pre-sale works? How many time in advance? How much do you have to know of the course you need to have to create the landing page? Well, right. Giorgio, yeah, I guess go ahead, Satya.
Okay, thanks. So in my case, it's a technical course, so it's actually difficult because I'm teaching kind of research techniques. So I had to make sure that all the things that I'm saying, it is doable, right? And so there is some amount of research that went into whatever I'm saying, it can be done or not, right? And this is based on prior experience, etc. But there are other courses for sure that you can create the content, right? So I think that you have to be 100% certain that whatever you're promising, you will be able to deliver on that. Otherwise, it creates a very, very bad impression.
Yeah. All right. And I would say that, designing a landing page only happens after you know what after your customers have told you what they want, and that starts with a survey. So get the survey going, and then you can design the landing page depending on what the survey results are showing. Okay, Rob says, we did a year-long course and just created and uploaded the lessons as we went, tripping it out. Agreed. That's what I've done in my previous launches as well. Even though I say it's a 120-day course, every week I uploaded new content, and that was good enough.
I'm also going to do that. It also gives me additional time to refine the course. If something's not going well, I can refine it the next week. And it also gives me additional time to create content which is further down in the course.
Okay, Marcy says, how did people find your free offer to grow your list? Example, just your blog via SEO?
Yes, so I whenever I blogged about something, I posted it on every social media site. So wherever people post these kinds of things, I did that. And then the SEO also started taking off, right? And once you get a few people tweeting about it or even linking to it, it grows organically. But even now, I spend 2 hours every time I post something. I spend 2 hours promoting it on different social media sites and also answering questions.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. We're like, both Satya and I, we're nerds, we're engineers. So marketing doesn't come naturally to us. We're not marketers at all. We have to learn it the hard way. We just do what we think would add the most value to people, and that allows us to run the business. So a lot of the internet marketing world tries to make it really complicated. They want to make it feel like you have to learn all these crazy ninja marketing skills in order to succeed. But the truth is, you just have to, do what is right for the customer, and things will work out really well. So to keep that in mind. I mean, if nerds like us can do it, I think anyone can do course launches, and anyone can do sales online and do marketing online. You just have to keep the customers good. Customers at your heart, in the sense that you have to believe that you're doing the right thing for the customer. Diana says, good customer service. Yes, absolutely. That's where it's at. Yeah. Ray says, so I'm assuming you're going to do a course launch when the course is actually available. If so, is there anything you are going to do differently from your pre-launch plan?
Oh, so is that the question, that knowing what I know now, would I do something differently?
No. She's assuming that you're going to do a course launch when the course actually goes live again.
Right.
So what are you going to do differently?
Yeah. So now that I have a good idea about how email marketing works, I don't know anything about other forms of marketing. In fact, I ran a small ad on Facebook. It cost me about $500, and it produced just 2 sales. So I actually lost money on that deal. But I also figured out that I was doing it wrong. So this was I tried doing this in the very last day. So when I do it the second time, now that I have mastered one thing, I'm going to go and check out other platform, and Facebook ads would be the thing, because out of that $500, I had made one sale for most of that $500, and after that, I actually talked to Manny, and we discussed a few strategies, and I ran this for 2-3 hours just before the course, before the deadline ended, and the next person I got was for 60 cents. So I think I know a little bit more now, and there's experiments that I will do with my next launch right before the course.
Yeah. Okay, so Jay is asking, how many people request a refund on average, and what kind of reasons do you give? Okay, so I'll take that question. Here's the thing, Jay. That is a question that doesn't even matter. All that matters is making people happy. And if there are, like, the industry standard in the internet marketing space is around 15%. I get much lower than that because I provide so much value. So the only thing you really need to worry about is how much value you're adding. And there will always be people, 10-20% of people who will ask for refunds. So be it. It's not going to change the fact that you're going to make tremendous money in the big picture. Giorgio says, how much time from course pre-sale to end of offer?
7 days. Is that?
Yeah, 7 days.
So for me, it was 8 days. One day was kind of hidden because it was sent to a very small list, but it was 7 days.
Okay, just any general tips if I were planning to launch an India-specific online course in weight loss?
Yes, I mean, you could add all the India-specific food related things, right? It's very specific to India, the kind of diet they use, and you could also make the course relevant for different regions of India. So you have very specific, because the diets are very different for different regions of India. And also some of the techniques that people use in the US, like if you're talking about going out and running in April in India, I don't think anybody can go out and for a run, right? So you have to tell them other things, which will be
I mean,
more
if you
relevant.
live in India, you already know
Yeah.
the challenges people in India face when it comes to weight loss and stuff like that. And it's very different from the challenges people face here because of the conditions. So you can customize it pretty well. Okay, Giorgio, I think we already answered the question, how much time from course pre-sale to end of offer? Okay. Rob Ashton, very few people ask for refunds. Some will, but not compared with the uplift that the guarantee brings. But those who do, just give it and move on without worrying about it. It's not worth the hassle. I agree, Rob.
Yep.
I always want to make my customers happy. So when people ask for refunds, I give it, though my refund rate is very, very, very low. So it's below like 3% on my book summary courses. It just doesn't go there because people love the value we offer. So.
Yeah. I also wanted to just put up this live page so that people can see. It's the same. Can you see my screen?
Let's
the
see.
Teachable screen.
Oh yeah, we can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you done any kind of marketing on Facebook or any other platforms for your course? I think we just answered that question.
Yeah.
Manny, do you offer services in setting things up for other people? What do you mean by that? Can you please clarify what you mean, guest 7149? What kind of services you're talking about in terms of setting things up for people? Okay. Rob could have fooled me. Guest 9102 Ray Afila Tooney asked, so I'm assuming you're going to do a course launch. Okay, we answered that. Marcy, thank you. RG Spalding, can you share Satya's blog address? Satya?
Yeah, it is learnopensv.com. Manny, can you type it out, please?
Yeah. There it is, learnopensv.com. And I'll put mine as well for you guys to check it out, 2000books.com. Okay, let's go. Let's keep moving. Satya, have you used webinars as part of a growth strategy for List?
Not yet. This is the first time I have actually organized a webinar. So
yeah, this is the first time for, basically, we're novices at all of this. So this is kind of fun for us. Okay, what is your guys' social handle? Okay, Twitter, what is it, Satya?
It is learnopensv, at
learnopensv.
Yep.
And mine is at 2000 books. And if you guys want to check out my podcast, I'll share a link for that as well later. Okay, let's keep going.
We are just proving that we are novice at marketing.
Yeah, we're pretty bad at this.
By not even providing basic information like website link and stuff.
Yeah, okay. RG Spalding, did you use LinkedIn for pre-sale targeting? More engineers there.
Yes, I tried to. And it like just $50 because they gave $50 free. And it's completely useless. I mean, at least I did not get any signups from there. $50 were spent, and the click-through rate was something like $7 per click, as compared to on Facebook, which was, at least the clicks, I did not pay as much for the clicks. It was something like 40 cents per click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guest 4868, do you like YouTube Live?
So far, it's, I mean, this is, I think this is working fine. You guys tell me. I don't know how you are receiving it.
Bhamik asks, will we get link for this webinar in email? Yes, you will. You will
Yes.
get the replay for this. Marcy asks, what webinar platform are you using right now for this webinar? It's Google, it's Facebook, YouTube Live, Marcy.
And chat room.
And Chatroll for the chat. Okay, thank you guys. This was very helpful. That says Canna says that.
Thank you.
Giorgio says, you said it before, but again, when you started the pre-sale and send the emails, you had 2,000 email list, right? No, it was 20,000.
20,000.
Ray says, I just want to say thank you. It definitely helps to hear about your success to break down some mental barriers. I agree, Ray. That's the beauty of the Roger Bannister effect. The more when you know someone and the more you spend time with them, the more you get to see the inner workings of how they did it. It becomes so much easier for you. I mean, when Satya and I were having the conversations in January, he was telling me all sorts of stories as to why he shouldn't do a launch or why he should do a big Kickstarter launch and do all these, like he had all these overwhelming goals to the point where he was stopping himself from doing the launch. And I know a lot of people on this webinar right now are doing that, where they have all these giant goals and they don't want to do it. But when I talked to Satya, I was like, dude, all you need to do is a simple pre-sale. Don't even create anything. Don't create all this madness. I have done it in the past. Let me show you how to do it. And Satya did a launch much bigger than me, even though I was the one who did it before him. That's just the way it works. And the key for Satya to make that leap of faith was to know that I had done it. He knew me personally, so he knew if Manny can do it, I can do it too. So that's the key for you guys. You know, find ways to associate with people who have done it. Find ways to associate, to spend time with people who have done it before you, who you know, okay, if I can hear their story and if I can understand their story and they can do it, I can do it too. That's the key. Marcy, what webinar platform? Okay, we already answered that. Cody, did you have any concerns about the specialized audience that advanced AI knowledge would have? And considering how large that audience is, did this factor into your target course cost?
Yes, so I was, even though the audience is growing, AI audience is growing, what I was offering is a very specific computer vision for faces. I'm not saying that you will learn whole of AI. You're going to learn only the things related to faces, human faces. And so yes, I had concerns that I will not have a big enough audience. And if you have similar concerns, the answer to that is that you don't need a very big audience. An audience of 300, you know, if 300 people sign up, when you niche down, then you get this these really dedicated people who really want your course. So if you get 300, it's a huge success, right? Because you can sell the course multiple times. And I like to think, you know, this course has a lifetime of 3-4 years, and people are graduating, people are getting born, so I'm getting new audience every year.
Yeah. Guest asks, how do you plan to implement the coaching calls? What's the format?
So this webinar was supposed to be that test as well, that I could actually have the coaching call as a webinar, and it's not it's a group coaching call where we will address their concerns, and I will also test GoToWebinar. But right now, this was the test with YouTube that we wanted to do, and it looks like if you guys had no problem, you know, receiving the content, it looks like it's a decent content. It's not integrated. We had to do a few things to get this all working. So it will be this kind of format.
Yeah. Okay. Rob says novices. Okay, maybe. Yeah, Rob, we are novices. But he says value is more important, which you both provided. Believe me, I've fallen into the trap of has to be perfect trap before. Completely agree, Rob. It's like,
thanks.
Perfection kills any progress, really. Perfection keeps us away from our dreams. And probably for a lot of people who are on the call today, the perfection is what's keeping them from launching, from moving forward, from getting to their next level. And I think that's the key. When I talked with Satya, he was all about doing a grand launch, a perfect launch. And once we had the discussion, I mean, it wasn't easy. It took a few calls. It took a few, long calls where we talked about this again and again and again. And that's when it happened. So it's one of those things, you know, you need someone who has done it before you. You need someone who's, who's telling you, hey, don't fall into the trap. Just freaking do it. So Guest 7502 Marie says, I need to re-listen to this again quietly and absorb. Thank you.
Thank you.
Easy to follow and not boring. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. Satya, great job.
Thanks.
Wow, YouTube Live and chat role, Marcy. So YouTube Live allows for this landing page. Okay, so the landing page has been done in Lead Pages. You can really put the landing page anywhere nowadays. Optimized Press can do that for you. Tribe themes can do that for you. There's so many different ways to do it. Just all you need is a landing page that allows for an embed of a video and allows for an embed of a chat box, and that's it. It's super easy nowadays. Yeah, it is the Lead Pages with the YouTube embedded. Okay. Again, Lead Pages. Yes, quite a few questions on that. All right. Guest 7502 Marie says, I love the stories direction. I'm close to doing a launch and got confused with all the funnel stuff. I like stories and connections. Oh man, talk to me about that.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, the thing you will remember from this webinar, even 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, will be the story. You will remember the story that Satya told, and that will inspire you more than anything else. So stories are the ultimate thing. As I think both Satya and I've been saying this for a while, that the marketing industry is trying to make it really confusing to sell more stuff to you. But all you really need is a simple process here. Just landing page, some emails, and someone to tell you, hey, do this, do that. Someone who's done it before you, something like that, and you're on your way. It's not much more complicated than that. Marie says, I use Zoom for coaching calls and for webinars. Zoom works great. Zoom is amazing. Okay. Again, guest 7149 says, I have become so overwhelmed with the tech that I'm going to hire a VA to help me launch, to be honest. Yeah, if that helps, man, go for it. Man or woman, I'm not sure. Sorry. But yeah, if that helps, if you need a VA, if you need some sort of tech help, you should get it. You shouldn't have to do it all yourself.
Right. And I mean, I did it myself just because I wanted to learn the process. But the next time, I will definitely think about getting a VA to do some of the very manual work, even though, technically it's okay for me to do it, but it helps. It just takes things out off your plate.
Yeah. So Diana Sandora says, perfect is a real challenge for me. Okay, Diana, that I agree is one of the biggest challenges that's holding most of the people back from doing a launch. And I think the only way you get past that sometimes is having someone to actually hold your hand or almost push you. You would have to agree that is the only way it happened for you, right?
Yeah, that's completely true. That's completely true. That it's difficult to give up on that pursuit of perfection, because we have this very good taste. Usually people, entrepreneurs, etc., they have this good taste. They want to create perfect things. They want to be very proud of things, which is all good and fine. But the thing is that you cannot pursue that perfection if you do not make an income from your product. It prevents you from pursuing the perfection, right? So it took me a long time to actually get used to the idea that 80-20 is okay. I'll put in 20% of the effort to get 80% of the results. And once that idea has been verified, I will work. And once the money comes in, you can put money into an effort into this pursuit of perfection. But until then, hold back, hold back on that. Like even with this webinar, we did not do a single piece of work until we had 100 likes on Facebook. And that's when I called up Manny and said, this thing, a lot of people are interested. Can we put something together? And we met at a cafe, and we, however imperfect, that landing page that you see, it's funny colors and fonts, etc. But I just had to let go that, yes, this is what it is going to be, and we'll put something together very quickly.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, we had it. We had everything by the end of the day in a few hours. It was literally 5-6 hours. And most of the hours were spent in discussing what are we going to present.
Yeah. So RG says, if you don't have an audience already, do you suggest building a blog first, or how do you go about pre-selling without an audience? Yeah, you have to build an audience. That's part of the challenge, RG, you have right now. If you don't have any audience at all, you should, even if you have an audience of 1,000, you can start selling. Even if you have an audience of 500, remember, if you build an engaged audience list, that's what Satya did. It doesn't matter 20,000 or 50,000. What he got was $3 per subscriber, $60,000 or 20,000 emails. So it's $3 per subscriber. But when I did my launch back in July of 2016, first time, I had an email list of 1,000 people. But it didn't stop me from doing everything that I needed to do to get the launch going. So you've got to build a little bit of following and start and get into the habit of selling. I think Satya made a huge mistake of not selling maybe even 6 months ago,
Right.
8 months ago, 10 months ago, when his following was half the size or even a quarter of the size, because he would have had made a lot more money back then.
Right. And that allows you to create better content, right? If I had, so this blog was not producing any money for me. I was just writing, spending 20 hours a week doing this, and not producing anything. So it's very motivating if you can generate an income from the thing that you like to do anyways. Yeah. So.
And RG, I would say there's so many different avenues right now for building a audience. You can do a blog if you like writing. You can do a podcast if you like speaking. That's what I do. And I teach people how to do that as well. And YouTube videos, you can do YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. So whatever you like doing, whatever your form of content is, whether it's video, whether it's podcasting, whether it's writing, whichever way you want to do, you should go and do that. And that will allow you to shine. So
right. And you'll be surprised how much people are hungry for content. They want to find somebody like them or somebody who they can look up to for content, right? Now, just as an experiment, I asked my son, who is 7 years old, he's very interested in math. So we did a YouTube channel for him. So he has a YouTube channel. One of his videos got 20,000 views, which is pretty awesome. So he just has 3 videos there. But the thing is that people like content and people like interesting content. To build a following these days, it's not very hard. You have to do things consistently. So every week, put in the time and create content consistently. And that's the most important thing. Whatever your medium is, you could go YouTube, podcast, blog, whatever your medium is, that matters less than the consistency of the content you produce.
Yeah. Consistency and consistency and efforts and quality will give tremendous results. And it's always the fact that things start slow. When you're starting off, things will start slow. I had, I think, 160 subscribers in the first 19 months of my YouTube channel because I wasn't really doing anything with it. I had put up a few videos and it was just sitting there. But then once I got serious, now I think we just hit 13,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel because I got serious. And it's only been the last 1 year that I've actually been posting good stuff on it and more regularly on it. And it blows up once you are committed to that process. And same with Satya. I mean, his blog is 20,000 strong email list happened because he was consistently producing content. And initially it was slow. Initially it was hard. But once you get traction, man, you start flying.
Yeah.
But you got to trust the first year to 18 months when the traction is really hard. That's the only way it goes.
Yeah, that's also your competitive advantage because it's a war of attrition. Most people will fall out. And if you keep doing it, you will win eventually.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Rob says, was the timer part of lead pages or just plugged in? It's part of lead pages, man. It's really simple now, huh? Okay, guest. I think he said that
the timer. There were 2 timers. One timer was part of lead page on this page, and the other timer was the one that I used in the email. That was using Motion. I can send you the link. It's another website called Motion Leap or something like that. Can't remember the name.
So I guess 9102, you're again asking the same question as what RG asked. How do you go about pre-selling without an audience? Well, you can pre-sell without an audience, usually running advertising on Facebook. But I personally haven't done that, and Satya hasn't done that either. So I'm we're not going to talk about things we haven't done. But we know people who have done that, who pre-sell to Facebook audience. Here's the problem with something like that. There's no trust built in. So when you're pre-selling to an audience like that on Facebook and there's no trust, I find that it's going to be really hard to pre-sell. Maybe you'll be able to sell because people can check out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. It's very difficult to pre-sell. Like the Facebook ad that I had run, it was very targeted. It was towards people who are interested in artificial intelligence. So the targeting was good, but the conversion was not. So I was getting a lot of click-throughs, but not enough conversions.
Yeah. Marcy says, you have both inspired me to do pre-sale for my next course. I was very skeptical of this approach, even though Teachable said it works. Yes. That's what Satya was very skeptical as well until I forced it down his throat and said, no, you must do a pre-sale. You're not going to create your course and do the launch.
Right.
And I this is something you just learn from people to do it. Okay, Diana Sandora, do you think the belief you never get a chance to make a first impression again is a myth?
Yes, but the audience changes, right? So sure, the same person may have formed an opinion, right? But like I'm saying, that people are being born every year. There is a new wave of people who are coming to your site. So it's okay to make mistakes. Don't let that completely paralyze you. It's very important to make to take actions, even if it is an imperfect action.
Yeah. So Diana, the game of entrepreneurship is a game of implementation. Speed of implementation is where you will win or lose. So the most powerful thing you can do in the game of entrepreneurship is execute super fast. And probably the thing that will make you execute super fast is being associated with people or finding people, whether it's coaches, mentors, whoever they are moving super fast and they're forcing you to do it. That will change the game dramatically. You just changed the environment, you changed the people, and that changes everything. So I think the problem you're facing right now, where you're coming up with all these excuses as to why you should be perfect and you should not do a pre-sale, or maybe perfection is holding you back, is because there are people in your life, or you don't have people in your life right now who can basically force you to the next level. It's almost like it forces you to the next level. So you need to find those people. Okay, guest 2821 says, thank you so much for this offering. I love the honesty, and I hope what you learned by hosting this webinar pays you back tenfold. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that means a lot. Thank you. Kevin says, you guys did a great job. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Guest 7149, really fantastic job, guys. Thank you so much. You're welcome, guys. RG, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guest 750 Marie.
Thank you, everybody who actually helped me against some of the trolls on Facebook. That was really, really nice of you, because awesome. You did not know me.
Guest 7542 Marie says, wow, so honest and clear. I'm producing, but not putting it out there. Yes, that's a challenge, Marie. You got to put it out there. It's going to be painful initially. You're going to hate. Here's the thing. No matter what you do, no matter how prepared you are, when you look back at your stuff 6 months from now, a year from now, you will think like that stuff was trash, because you'll do so much better. You can look back at my old videos. If you go to my YouTube channel, you look back at my videos a year ago, 2 years ago, and you look back at the videos now, you'll see a huge difference. You can look back at my podcast episodes that were like episode 1, 2, and 3, and you can look at podcast episode 95, 96 that just went out. You see the difference is drastic. But if you don't put it out there, there's no way you will learn. One of the key challenges in entrepreneurship is there is no learning without feedback. Okay, so if you're not getting any feedback from the market, if you're not getting any feedback from the people who are listening to you, who are watching you, who are reading you, you're not making any progress. You're not making any progress. You think you're making progress, but you're stuck, because feedback is where your progress starts.
Right. And it's also, I mean, there is a lot of research that has been done to show that, the people who produce the most. So if you tell people to just create one good quality article and take 7 days, and tell another group of people to create as many articles as possible in those 7 days, 500-word articles, you will find that the person who has produced as many articles the best work comes from people who have done more articles, not just that one perfect article. And the reason is that as you're producing this content, you get better and better, right? So it's very important to put stuff out there, get the feedback, and keep going. That's otherwise you are just refining your offering, right? Whatever you have not published it, you don't get any feedback yet, but you keep refining because you feel that there is something extra, something you come up with ways to make it better, but in reality, it is completely possible that nobody cares, right?
Yeah, that's so true, guys. I mean, here's the thing, Marie, when you are producing and you're not putting it out there, it's as good as not producing at all. There's research that's been done now that's shown. Dean Simonton, you can look it up. Dean Simonton did this research, and he finally found that the most successful artists or the most successful creatives, the most successful entrepreneurs were usually the ones who were doing the most work. So creativity is a probabilistic output of your productivity in some ways. The more you produce, the more you put it out there, the more you're going to get feedback, you're going to learn, and you're going to accelerate. So that is what holds starters back more than anything else, in my opinion. And you need someone to hold your hand, force you, almost push you, almost push you over the edge sometimes to get you to that level, to the next level. Okay, Cody, great work, and thanks for all the guidance and suggestions. You're welcome, my man.
You're welcome.
Marie, I love writing and video and audio. Do it. There's nothing stopping you. Go start a YouTube channel. Go start a podcast. Go start a blog. Go, all you guys. Here's the thing: you have no excuse. If you like to write, you should check out Satya's blog. If you like to do a podcast, or if you like audio, you should check out my podcast. If you like to do videos, then check out my YouTube channel, or check out Satya's blog again. There's, it's us. We're like, as I said again, we're like nerds. We just do what we enjoy doing, and things come back to us. And you guys can do the same. You don't have to be marketing gurus. You don't have to be marketing ninjas. Just find people who are doing what you want to do, who have done what you want to do, and you will get there too. Okay, Rob Ashton says, I haven't even noticed what font you used. I was too focused on your story and the values. So easy to think the wrong things matter. So true, man. So true.
Right. I don't know my fonts either. Just so you know.
We don't even know what fonts they are. In fact, yesterday evening we're looking at this, and I was like, man, so some of these sentences are so small. Who's gonna nobody's gonna be able to read it and all this stuff. But we had a deadline, we had a timeline, we had to go.
Yeah,
I'm sure we could have made it 10 times more beautiful if we had another month to do this webinar. But imagine what would have happened in the month. You guys would have lost interest. You guys would have probably forgotten about it, and nobody would have gotten any value out of a very beautiful presentation. So hopefully that's a lesson for you guys, that it's not about
some. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
What you need to understand is that there will be some sacrifices that you'll need to make to work at this speed. You have to produce. So, for example, we have been working on this presentation for the last few days, and the sacrifice was that I just had to delay paying, filing my taxes. So that's the sacrifice part of it. But if you want to do something with speed, you have to commit to speed. Speed is a force multiplier. Once you commit to doing something with exceptional speed, there is a lot of energy, there is a lot of enthusiasm, momentum that comes in, and just commit to speed. Not, the quality, it can be a little lower than what your ideal is, but speed is, you cannot compromise on speed. Go for it. You have to do it fast.
Yeah. Okay. So guest 4868 says, what's your son's YouTube channel? I have an 11-year-old. Here's the thing. I think what we should do, Satya, is put all these links of our YouTube channels, blogs, and emails, and all this stuff, and send out an email with all that stuff. So guest will get that email out to you.
Yeah.
Make sure you have registered.
Right. So it's called Math Gems. If you search on YouTube, Math Gems.
Math Gems. Okay.
Yeah. So you can. I don't know whether the screen is visible, right? My screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So this, for example, this video, it got 19,890 views. So that's, and I think it's, yeah, it got,
yeah, that's there. A cube root trick that has 19,000. Yeah, damn, man. And that's only in 6 months. That's unbelievable.
right.
Okay, so Diana says, that is why I try to be perfect. What do you mean, Diana? Maybe you should write that down below. Okay, guest Marie says, yes, I am bored. I'm on board with pre-sale. I just changed this earlier in the week because I felt so fake with the series of emails and shenanigans. I'm at ease with engaging and seeing who is interested in focusing on them. Beautiful. Well said. And then Marie says, yes, executing super fast. That is the problem with coaches, because they sometimes hold you back because they hold themselves back and don't feel comfortable with you passing them yet. No. The job of the coach is to push you beyond where they are.
Right.
If you're guarding a coach there who's holding you back, you got the wrong coach. You got the wrong person who's helping you, Marie. I'm sorry to say that. You need to fire that coach tomorrow, or no, yesterday. Like when Satya and I were working, I wasn't thinking, oh shit, Satya has got such a large list and he's gonna, overshadow. He's gonna make much more than I did in my launch. No, I wanted him to make the launch happen as soon as possible, because I knew it was possible for me. I knew it was possible for him, and I could see the potential in him. Maybe he didn't see it at the time, but I could see. Like when he was talking, I could already see what it was possible. So if you have a coach who's undermining your success, who's pushing you back, or who's pulling you back, you got the wrong coach. You got to fire that coach today.
I completely agree with Manny.
Yeah. Marcy says, thank you so much for your generosity. Marcy, thank you so much for engaging, for asking all the questions. I think that's why this is so rewarding, just for that. It's so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Deus asked, link for Satya's blog or Manny's podcast. Okay, Deus, we're going to send that in your email. I'm going to link learnopencv.com and 2000books.com. So 2000books.com is my website where you'll find my podcast and the YouTube channel as well. And Learn OpenCV is, of course, Satya's blog as well.
In fact, you can, the link that for the emails that was sent, the main website is right there on the link as well.
Yeah. Okay, Marie says, last week I did all my social media branding and put my videos out there and audio. It was an amazing result. Not sure why I waited so long. I did my first YouTube channel ever. That is awesome, Marie. Yeah, it's that. Congratulations. That's exactly what you need. You need to get started. You need to put the content out there, and now you're in the game. Until you put your content out there, you're not in the game.
Yep.
And I think you're the one who was worried about getting the wrong coach. Well, it's obvious. I mean, the coach, his or her job is to push you to make things happen. I think beyond anything, they're gonna make things happen. You're actually gonna find your own greatness as a result of the coach. That's what I see most of the times. It's not that when Satya and I were working, it's not that that I did anything magical in our conversations. It's that Satya just found his greatness because of all the tools that were available to him that he didn't believe in initially, but they came alive.
Yep.
Yeah, you cannot wait. You cannot wait. You have to do it yesterday. I mean, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is right now.
It's today, yeah.
Yeah, right now. So bonus 13 email link. Sorry, I'm scrolling through chat and can't find it. Okay, here we go again. I could put it down right now. This might help with writing, e360.writingskills.com. Oh, Rob, it seems like it's your plug. All right, go for it, man. Diana, cool. I'm glad we answered the questions. Of course, Diana and Marcy and Marie and everyone else, if you have more questions, you should just go ahead and email me or Satya. I mean, I'm going to, again, put our email addresses here because I think it's important for you guys to just go ahead and ask these questions. You're going to find, we're pretty open. We want to help you guys out. So we're going to, respond to all your questions as well. I promise I will get back to each and every one of you guys if you have questions.
Yep.
and I don't take this kind of stuff lightly. So here's Satya's email address, and this is my email address. Again, if you want to talk to you guys about, if you guys want to talk to me about building a podcast or building a YouTube channel, or you want to talk to Satya about doing a blog, doing large launches, building an email list, all that stuff, between Satya and me, we can actually guide you through any of this. So just go ahead and email us. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Yeah, you rock. You rock, man. We're just here to help you. Okay. Let's see. Guest 4868 says, okay, I'm going to work on my launch now. Okay. Giorgio says, any tricks to grow email list? Of course, I know about creating content, but way to be more visible. The most powerful way to grow your audience is to get published on someone else's platform. So one of the fastest ways for me to grow my YouTube channel was to get published on Evan Carmichael's YouTube channel. He has 600,000 subscribers, 700,000 subscribers. So even getting one video on it, that day, basically my subscribers grew by, I think, 1,000 subscribers in a single day. Like, that's the power of getting published on the right platform. That is the ultimate hack. What is your feedback, Satya?
So yeah, I agree. And there are other things also, like exactly that. I have another story. So some of my friends who have been working with me in my consulting company, they started their own blog, and it benefits me as well as them when they produce this content on my blog. So they started writing on my blog as well. So first, what happens is that their blog gets instant boost, because my blog is already so popular and the SEO value is so high. When they link back to their blog, it produces instant, Google thinks that it's a very important site. And in addition, they also, and because of this, they were able to build up their email list to 1,000 in about 4 months. Less than 4 months, they were able to build an email list. So they have been publishing thing on my post, and they also give a link back that if you want to hear more. That way, I get the benefit of that beautiful article, and they get the benefit of the link back. And they do other things, like a giveaway is very, very important. Like if you just say, oh, sign up for a newsletter, that doesn't convert as well. But if you say, sign up for the newsletter and we will give you this gift, this resource, or this checklist, or something that will be of value to them, then it becomes very easy for them to, they'll at least sign up to get that list, and they will never unsubscribe if you keep providing value. Yeah. So that's, so the hook is important. I also have experimented with 60-second pop-ups. That's very useful as well. Like, people, after consuming 60 seconds of your content, if you remind them that they can get more, then usually people want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, Giorgio, there's so many ways to grow your email list, so many different ways to talk about getting your email list growing. And you can increase your visibility tremendously by doing little things here and there that will allow you to just explode your email list some ways. And sometimes it is almost like you put content out consistently, and someone notices you.
Yeah.
And they share it, and suddenly you get an explosion, and you are like, where did this come from? Because that person liked you so much that they are going to share it with the world. So it's a consistency game as well.
Right. So one other thing I wanted to add is, once you create a content, repurpose it in as many different ways as possible, because your ultimate goal is not to get traffic to your website, but to grow your email list. That's a very important distinction. I mean, they are correlated, but they are not completely correlated. So you could take that content and create a LinkedIn article, and people will subscribe there also. People will subscribe to your list at different places, even if, so your content can leave your website and go where the audience is. So that's another strategy as well. So keep in mind that your ultimate goal is to build an engaged audience and not necessarily, have a huge traffic on your website. That's a vanity
just having
metric.
numbers is not the goal. Having a number of large email subscribers, large YouTube subscribers, that's not the point. The people will love you, then they will trust you, and then they'll buy from you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what's more. One thing that comes across is that you sincerely want to help us. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, thank you for taking the time to do this. So as we said, go ahead, send us your emails. We'll be happy to respond to you guys. Rob says, super generous. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Rob. The Gap says, learned a lot. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Giorgio says, minimum email list for launch. All right. I don't think there is a minimum email list size, man. It's a function of engagement. Here's the thing. Think about maybe 1 to 2% of your list will buy. Okay. But you can increase the chances of that tremendously if you increase urgency, if you make sure it is a very exclusive group. Let's say initially, if you don't have a big email list, you're better off doing coaching. You're doing one-on-one time or group coaching call or something like that, where you only invite 5 or 10 people or even 3 or 4 people. And what that does is it gets the momentum, and it allows you to sell even though you have a very small list, because you're getting very targeted people to buy the coaching. So coaching is a great way to get started even when you have a small email list.
Yeah,
and
because it's not a volume game. It's a game of small numbers. Because you're putting your own time in and personally being present in these coaching calls, you can actually charge much higher than say $200 for a course, right? You could charge a couple of $1,000.
Yeah, Giorgio, it's almost like you have to think of it like you can use that email. What's the best value you can provide to that email list? Like, what would be the highest leverage or highest results you can create for them? What's the greatest results you can create for your list of maybe 50 people, right? And approach them individually and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this coaching call. I'm only limiting to 5 people. If you are interested, you can put your deposit down. If you're interested, here's the pre-sale button. Here's the PayPal link to you. I mean, people get so fancy with all these tools and gadgetry and all that stuff. Literally, if you wanted to set up a coaching call tomorrow, all you need to do is send an email out to people and put a link in the email with your PayPal button and say, hey, guys, if you're interested in the coaching call, here's the link to PayPal, and we will get on a phone conference call or on a Skype call, or we're going to get on a Google Hangout tomorrow, and we're going to start this coaching. It's literally as simple as that. But we all want to complicate things. We all want it to be like big, major, large-scale stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
So we are actually hitting the 2-hour mark now, and I actually have a meeting at 10. So if you have any final questions, we'll take one more, and we can wrap up then.
Yeah, so the question is, can you explain the 60-second pop-up again? Yeah, it's 60-second pop-up is as in after 60 seconds of someone being on your website, they get a pop-up which says, hey, enter your name and email address here to get this freebie. And that's about it. So it's really simple as that.
Yeah.
Again, guys, I guess I'm going to just write our email addresses here for any of you guys who want to contact us after this. And we're also going to send an email with all these links to you guys, so you can contact us, check out our blogs, our YouTube channels, our podcasts, whatever you want to do, and ask any questions later on. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye.